Akin, the Accord candidate for the forthcoming election in Osun. The election is coming up on the 16th of July, 2022. I say Osun is unfortunate to have had the kind of leadership that we've had. They are mostly politicians who are businessmen who are here to just make people more pulverized. But Osun is full of opportunities. Opportunities are banned here and there. Opportunities are banned in industry. Opportunities are banned everywhere. But it will take a good leader who has the designing spirit, who has the ability and the capability, who has done it somewhere else, who has the experience to be able to tap into all this and make Osun totally productive. The unfortunate thing about Osun today is the fact that we are a monolithic economy. When I say monolithic, we depend solely on civil servants, on civil service. Civil service alone cannot make us prosperous. That is why even the civil service, I keep saying, for any policy of government, you need an effective civil service. But the civil service of today, they are not motivated. They are not motivated. They are demoralized because their salaries are not being paid. I hear the jingles that the present government is blowing around. Even we just finished the program where he's saying that he's paying salaries regularly. He said these civil service are not encouraged and not motivated. And how can you develop whatever policy you have in agriculture, in solid mineral, in entertainment, in industry, even in governance? You depend solely on what do you call it, on the civil service. So I have the capability. I'm very well trained, and I'm a local boy. My primary school was from here, AUD Primary School. My secondary school was from here, to the Akin College. Even my university, I had my first degree in agricultural economics with a second class upper from the University of Ife, now Bafemi Awolowo University. I'm well trained, and I'm very well exposed. I have my business. I started Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC, which is a new venture. I created a new venture. I have the ability to see things from the scratch to see it to fruition. So Mutual Benefit today employs about 5,000 people. And of course, we are into various, we started from insurance, we have ventured into other areas of human development. Like I said, Osun State has the highest level of human capital development. That is again a plus. But what has become of our education? WAEC, we're totally backward. When you use that as a yardstick, we're totally backward in the area of education. Look, Osun is coming 33rd, 34th in West African examination results. This is ridiculous. If Osun people are enterprising and we know them to that, they're highly read, they're highly literate, and you can find them in every walk of life. What exactly are we giving to our youth? What exactly are we giving to the future of our children? We need to focus on education and we need to do it right. So I have a lot that I want to accomplish within this short period of time.
Against
Okay,
that
okay.
background, sir, you talked as an entrepreneur, and then this state is a civil servant state. How do you intend to change the narrative from being civil servants to businessmen and women?
Thank you. If you look at, I mentioned agriculture. Agriculture, a lot can be done. But first, before you talk of agriculture, you need people to be highly educated. You need to give that education. That is the basis of anything you want to do. Osun is an is an highly educated state. I said education is backward. What do we do differently? We focus on education, both primary, secondary, and of course, we standardize. There will be a policy that will standardize the qualities that we require within in education. And then the teachers are demoralized, like I said. Teachers are not enough. So we're going to go out there, recruit teachers for the various subjects they are teaching in school. We're going to go out there, retrain our teachers. In fact, you have some teachers that are employed on the basis of political lineage. Many of our teachers, they read Yoruba and they are being made to teach geography. They read Yoruba, they are being made to teach chemistry. Just patching, we will change all that. Teachers will be well motivated, they will be paid as when due, and they will be promoted as when due. And of course, we give them opportunity for training and retraining. If teachers are not trained, if teachers are not retrained, If teachers are not comfortable, they can't give their best. That is the starting point. They can't give their best to the pupils. So we're going to start on that. Again, agriculture. Look at agriculture. Agriculture is a multi-billion-dollar business. I keep saying it. Awolowo, I will keep referring to Awolowo as if it was an angel that was dropped from heaven. No, we can produce another Awolowo. Somebody that has the intellect, that has the intelligence, that has the capacity, that have the experience for developing from something little to something magnetic, to something bigger. So agriculture, we're going to focus on agriculture. Our cocoa it's been abandoned. We have cocoa plantation, the existing ones. We'll give them all the necessary inputs for the existing plantation to become more productive. Then we're going to create our own plantation. On my farm, I'm a farmer. I have seedling of cocoa. On my farm, I have 50,000 cocoa plant now. And they are fruiting within 6 months, within 3 years that they are fruiting now, within 3 years. Why can't we do that across Osun? Again, we're going to have local government election. We have not had election the last 16 years or thereabout. Why? Local government is an aspect of governance that is independent, that is directly from the derive its power from the Confederal Republic of Nigeria Constitution. But they have abandoned it. That is only through local government you can guarantee even distribution of development. So before we do anything, in this within 6 months of our coming to government, I will do local government election. And when that is done, we'll make it mandatory for all these local government chairmen, since they're going to be getting their allocation directly. And nobody, our government is going to, we're not going to interfere with the way, what do you call it, local government are run. They'll be very independent. So we can make it compulsory for them to have acreages. Look, why can't you have acreage of oil palm using modern seed that will fruit in 3 years? Why don't you have acreages of what do you call it of cocoa that will fruit in 3 years? These are things that we will do. I tell you, some of the what do you call it, some of the farm settlements that Awolowo put there, they are still there in Osun. We have about 12 of them. We are still there. We have farm settlements at Bowoye. We have in Oyere. We have Igbaye. We have Iwo Akinleye. We have Mukore. We have all kind of. These are already lands allocated for farming, which nobody is touching. Everybody has abandoned. So we go back to that. Again, when you say there's so much poverty in the land, there's so much hunger in the land, why would there not be? When the product, the produce of the farmers goes into wastage. I use orange as example. No farmer is consciously going to harvest his orange any longer. No farmer is going to harvest his orange any longer. Even where they make okra, bulk of the okra that they produce goes into waste because why? There's no storage facility. So these are key areas that we need to work on to make agriculture give us the kind of resources that this state require. We don't need to be going capping now to Abuja to go and get allocation. In fact, Soludo said it. He said allocation in Abuja, the way we are going, will soon dry off. And in case of Osun, if you recall now, the allocation we are getting for Abuja has been leveraged to the extent that we are getting negative allocation in some months. So we have to focus on internally generated revenue. And this is where agriculture comes in. We're going to have agriculture. And when you talk of agriculture, you have the value chain, conversion from primary product to secondary product. So that, look, in my farm, when you produce cassava, I don't sell my cassava raw. I produce cassava flour. Why can't I replicate in every local government? Why can't I replicate with every farmer? Why can't I replicate this in all our farm settlements? Again, we have what do you call it? We have poultry. Our poultry industry in Osun should be able to produce to satisfy at least the southwest. So we're going to encourage all these people to ensure that they produce, and the only way they can produce profitably and then make the food available is to ensure that they have access to the basic product and the basic input that they need. Day-old chicks, We ensure that we produce our feed locally. All the people producing feed, we identify them, we encourage them to produce solid feed, good quality feed. That when you feed them with into animals, into these chickens, they will produce very well. So there's a lot that can be done in the area of agriculture. That is agriculture. Again, in the area of, there's some little things that you don't pay attention to. Look at the issue of arrow in Osun State, particularly in Osogbo. Arrow is a multi-billion naira industry, provided we can reorganize it and we can do it properly. The thing, arrow, we can create a tie and dye industry from arrow, modernize it, and ensure our youth who are roaming the streets to take into the production of arrow. What is everybody working? There's nothing like being an entrepreneur. So a lot of our youth want to encourage to be an entrepreneur on their own, producing something that they can control and they can have profit from. So that tie and die is a good area. Again, I talk about what do you call it? Abattoirs. Abattoirs in Osun, they kill about 200 animals every day and they burn it. This is another area we can generate job. Let me say that by God's grace, within the first 1 year of our administration, we're going to generate 100,000 jobs. So before I even say how we're going to create it, we're going to create 100,000 jobs. So we have people that we can retrain, all our youth, we can retrain them in the area of what do you call it? Hide and skin. Look, the cap you wear, the vest you wear, the bangle you wear, what do you call it? The shoe you put on, the bat. Like we can go and learn a whole lot of this, and we don't need to go to Sokoto to go and be bringing hide and skin. So we can create a hide and skin industry here. Again, look at our youth. We are blessed with the issue of drumming. This drumming, we can put them together to ensure that we can create an orchestra, a standard orchestra. Oyibo people love when they see. I went to the orchestra to go and watch. We paid a lot of money, about $50, to enter for 2 hours. If you see the kind of dance they are dancing. But we are culturally blessed in Osun that we can train and create orchestra from all these local people. And again, look at Nollywood. Nollywood, until they did the rebasement of Nigeria economy. That is when we know the value of on Nollywood. Nollywood is third or fourth largest contributor to the GDP of Nigeria.
It's okay, sorry, you're in the incoming excellency. Sorry, finally. I want to deviate a little bit from the aspect of business when it comes to Ocean State, and let's go into politics. How do you deal with vote buying? Of course, you know that Ekiti State has been a litmus test, and we have two states, Ocean State and Ekiti State, who are actually been a litmus test to the general election 2023. So now, how do Ocean State deal with the litmus test? This is the last question, Your Excellency.
Oh, thank you so much. Vote buying is illegal. It's against the electoral law. But let me say this: the power of governance is in the hands of the people. Their vote is the power. They don't need, and if you know the value of their vote, tell me, how can they can't buy, even if they pay 10 million naira to buy a vote, is a lost opportunity. They are selling the future of their children and their great grandchildren. It is better for us to have a prosperous Osun state. Let everybody go out there and vote according to their conscience. Vote buying is unfortunate. Vote buying, if they practice vote buying in this election, I will say Nigeria is finished. We saw what happened in the Ekiti state. They shouldn't repeat it. They will go out there, people who have no agenda, who have no manifesto, who came from there was no manifesto for PDP, there was no manifesto for APC, there is no manifesto for Labour. We all just came from a debate. Anyone that doesn't follow his manifesto, that says he wants to buy vote, is just going to kill this country. Vote buying will kill this country. Let everybody vote according to his conscience. This is it. Let everybody vote according to his conscience. My party is Accord, and the term is a symbol of it. Let people go out, vote for better alternative, which is Accord. APC, PDP, we have tried our very best. We have seen that they are both failures. Let people vote for Accord.